You guys ready for spring break yet?
Yes.
So anyway, my name is Katy Teaching. I am a credential student at National University. So I'm currently taking classes to receive my single subject credential right now. And as part of an assignment, I was asked to give a teaching demonstration, which is why I'm here today. So I thank you for your patience, and I know this is material you guys have already seen before and have covered already at the beginning of the year, so it's going to be a big review. So thank you again for your patience and just bearing with me here. I have some handouts to first pass out to you guys too before we get started. So hopefully someday my goal is to teach high school or junior high biology. I love cells, I love their anatomy, I love their structure, I think they're fascinating. How something so small, is capable of doing so much for us. Without cells there would be no life. So our goal for today, we're going to differentiate between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. We're going to be analyzing the differences between the two cell types. The two types of eukaryotic cells that we're going to be looking at today are the plant and animal cells. We're also going to identify and describe the functions of all the organelles. And also have a list of objectives as well. So basically we're just restating our goals. So our objectives, so for you guys as students, at the end of the lesson you guys are going to be able to define prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. You guys are going to be able to distinguish the difference between the two cell types we're talking about. Identify the structures of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. And you're going to animal cells and identify all the functional organelles and describe their functions. So this lesson is achieving one of the California state standards in biology life science. So standard 1C states that students know how prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells, including those from plants and animals, and viruses differ in complexity and in general structure as well. So just to start our discussion about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, I'm going to show you guys just a short kind of an introductory video going over the differences between the two cell types. And again, this is going to be a review for you guys. Just a little 3.5 quick video.
The cell's DNA is located in a region of the cytoplasm called the nucleoid region. The nucleoid region is not the same thing as a nucleus because it's not enclosed by a membrane. Prokaryotes also have a cell wall that surrounds the plasma membrane. The composition of the cell wall depends on whether the cell is an archaean or a bacteria, but basically it consists of complex polysaccharides. Prokaryotes also often possess one or more flagella, which are used for movement. In contrast, eukaryotic cells contain a membrane-bound nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. The name eukaryote also gives a hint about its structure. Eu means true, and remember that karyote means nucleus. So in essence, the word eukaryote means true nucleus. Eukaryotic cells are larger and much more
complex. We talked about prokaryotic versus eukaryotic cells, right? So what can you guys remember? What are some differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes? What's the first main thing? Yeah.
Prokaryotic cells are smaller than eukaryotic cells.
Yes, perfect. Anything else?
Prokaryotes don't have any nucleus.
Yes, perfect. Great. Anything else you guys can think of? Yes. Yes, so eukaryotes have membrane-bound organelles. Great, you guys are wonderful in that. So definitely, prokaryotes, they're much simpler. They're much smaller in size. So the typical size of a prokaryotic cell is about 3 micrometers, and the size of a eukaryotic cell is about 20 micrometers. So the eukaryotic cells are about 7 times larger than the prokaryotes. And you guys are right. The prokaryotes do not have a membrane-bound nucleus. Their genetic material is just kind of scattered throughout this little nucleoid region. It's not encased in a membrane. Whereas have a membrane-bound nucleus. They also contain other membrane-bound organelles that carry out all kinds of various cell functions. So why do you guys think eukaryotic cells are more complex than prokaryotes? I kind of went over this already too. Yes.
Because they came after the prokaryotes, they were made from them.
Yeah, exactly. Good job. Did you have, no?
Oh.
Yeah, so, yes, definitely. So they originated from the prokaryotic cells. Their DNA is also, as we stated earlier, the DNA of the eukaryotes is housed within the nucleus, so that allows for more structure. Eukaryotic cells also have these membrane-bound organelles, which we just talked about. So what are some examples of membrane-bound organelles? You guys probably all know these. Yes?
Golgi complex?
Yep. Golgi? Anyone else? Membrane-bound organelles that eukaryotes have? Yes, again?
Nucleus?
Nucleus, perfect.
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria, great. Yeah, all of those things. They have mitochondria, chloroplasts, in plant cells, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum. Those are just some examples of some membrane-bound organelles that eukaryotic cells have. So what does the word membrane-bound mean? What does that mean to you guys? Yes.
Enclosed?
Yeah, so there's a boundary around it. So it kind of acts as an outer layer, you know how all cells have that plasma membrane that surrounds them. So these membrane-bound organelles have that kind of boundary to protect them, and it allows certain materials inside and out of the organelle. They're also similar in many ways as well. So what are some other similarities? What do they all have in common? Yes.
They both have a smooth, they both have an endoplasmic reticulum.
Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, so they all have cytoplasm, right? So they all have that kind of material that fills the cell, but the organelles kind of limits, and prokaryotic cells have free ribosomes. Eukaryotic cells also have free ribosomes and ribosomes on the endoplasmic reticulum. And they also both have DNA, so they have that genetic makeup. And you guys just had a genetics lesson or unit, so you guys know DNA is basically the genetic material of the cell. So we're going to kind of backtrack here. We're going to talk about the 6 kingdoms of life. I know on your notes there's some like kind of the list. If you guys want to fill those in, please feel free to do so. It's just kind of for your own information, your own notes. But going back to the 6 kingdoms of life, so there's eukaryotic kingdoms and there's also prokaryotic kingdoms. So the 4 kingdoms of eukaryotes, you have kingdom protista, you have kingdom fungi, you have kingdom plantae, and animalia. And in the prokaryotic kingdoms, you have eubacteria and archaeobacteria. And for the prokaryotic kingdoms, you can notice that the word bacteria is in both of those kingdoms. So basically, when we're talking about prokaryotes, we're just talking about bacteria, basically. Here's just some examples of organisms from the 6 kingdoms.
Bless you.
So there's an amoeba up there. It's kind of hard to see, but amoeba is a protist. So they come from that kingdom. There's mushrooms, which come from the kingdom fungi. There's a picture of ferns, which come from kingdom plantae, and frog is from kingdom animalia. And then at the bottom, you can see the pictures of the bacteria of the prokaryotes. So from eubacteria and archaeobacteria. So for the eukaryotic kingdoms, they're all multicellular. Except for kingdom protista, some of the organisms can be single-celled, but for the most part, they are all multicellular. The prokaryotic kingdoms are all unicellular, so they're also known as just bacteria. So just kind of a review to keep you guys kind of focused here. What kingdoms are the prokaryotic kingdoms? Yes.
Kingdom fungi?
The prokaryotic kingdom?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Eubacteria and archaeobacteria?
Yep, perfect. Good job. So kingdom eubacteria and archaeobacteria. Those are the 2 prokaryotic kingdoms. What about the rest of the kingdoms? So what are the kingdoms that are eukaryotic?
And Amelia?
Yep, and Amelia's line, kingdom planting, kingdom persistence, so those are all the eukaryotic kingdom good job, guys.
Bless you.
So we're gonna kind of
Good
move
old
on, we're
doctor.
gonna discuss the organelles present in the eukaryotes. So these are just some of the, there's more than this, but these are just some of the organelles we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna discuss them, kind of just give a brief description of them and just define their function. Again, this will be pretty brief. So the nucleus.
Bless you.
So you guys know the nucleus contains all of the genetic material needed for the cell. So the nucleus consists of a nuclear envelope which surrounds it, and then the nucleolus is actually inside the center of the nucleus. The mitochondria we talked about earlier too. Mitochondria are really important for cellular respiration. This is the organelle that makes all of the energy for the cell. And all of the most of the ATP is made here in the mitochondria as well. Chloroplasts. So chloroplasts are only in plant cells. Animal cells do not have chloroplasts. These are needed by plant cells to photosynthesize. So the job of the chloroplast is to convert the energy of the sun into chemical energy, and that energy is stored in sugar molecules. And I think I have all these printed out for you too, the definitions. So the endoplasmic reticulum is basically a very complex network of tubes and sacs. There's the rough ER and the smooth ER. The rough ER helps with the production of proteins, and the smooth ER is going to help build up fats and lipids for the cell. And the Golgi. The Golgi apparatus sorts, packages, and distributes proteins throughout the cell. And the cell wall. This is also only in our plant cells. So basically it maintains the cell shape. It protects the cell from any outer damage. The cell wall is made up of cellulose and polysaccharides and also proteins. The cell membrane. So this is a very important one. Every cell has a cell membrane. The cell membrane is a semi-permeable barrier, so it basically allows molecules and ions to pass inside and out of the cell. The cell membrane is made of that phospholipid bilayer. Within it, there's those integral proteins and the glycolipids. And then the vacuole. So look, most plant cells have a very large vacuole. This is a storage container, also, excuse me, it's a storage container for particles within the cell. And it can also help transport particles to the cell as well. Ribosomes. So ribosomes, these are the site of protein synthesis. Here's a picture of kind of 3 ribosomes here. And then on the other side, there's the actual units. There's 2 units of the ribosome. And then the nucleolus. So that's the center of the nucleus. The nucleolus is also responsible for ribosome synthesis and assembly. And lysosomes. So these lysosomes, they help kind of break down and digest any cellular debris or material. Okay, so organelles present in plant cells are not animal cells. I put them up there, but what would they be, you guys? They would be the chloroplast, the cell wall, and the central vacuole, right? And then there's many organelles that they also share in common. So the common organelles shared between plant and animals are, they all have a mitochondria. They both have a nucleus. They both have a cell membrane. They both have Golgi. And they both have an endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so why is it important that we know these cell functions? Why is it important that we know what the organelles do and how they process things? Yes?
So we know how our body and other bodies work.
Yeah, exactly. So we kind of know how systems work. So it's really important to understand how these organelles function because, you know, later on you guys are going to be learning about more advanced, you probably already have, but you're going to be learning about more advanced, complex processes that take place within the cell that are essential basically for life, for our body to function, for, you things to live outside of the world. So it is really important to understand, how they function. What are some examples? So here's an example. So photosynthesis, right? So all plants need to photosynthesize. They need to undergo photosynthesis, and to do that, they need the chloroplast. Without the chloroplast, they wouldn't be able to do so. Can you guys think of another example? What do all cells need to do?
Reproduce.
Reproduce, right? Any other examples you guys can think of? So all cells need to metabolize, right? So they have to undergo metabolic reactions. So they have to do cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria. So without that, they would be unable to perform this process. Do you guys know where cellular respiration takes place in prokaryotes because they don't have a mitochondria? Take a good guess. So where the prokaryotes don't have mitochondria, but they still have to undergo metabolism. They have to undergo these metabolic reactions. So where that takes place is actually in that plasma membrane. That plasma membrane is pretty similar to the mitochondria, so their cellular respiration actually takes place within that plasma membrane. You guys have these pictures at your tables. This is just a picture of the animal cell, kind of just going over everything that we just talked about, visually depicting all of the organelles. Just not a great picture, sorry about that. I'm going to ask you guys in a few minutes to actually do a little activity for me too, if you don't mind, so you'll need a good representation of this. And here's also the plant cell that you guys have at your tables as well. So kind of explain all the organelles. Like I said, we didn't cover the peroxisome and some of the other ones, but the major ones we did go over. So for the activity, this is a group activity. I don't know, I have eight groups. I think there's 10 tables. So maybe you guys can pair up together with that table. So I'll pass these out. So basically, this activity is going to be pretty simple for you guys, since you guys already know. Since you guys already know, you had a unit at the beginning of the year on all of this stuff when we kind of just talked about it. So the activity is just going to ask you to kind of map the picture with the organelle and give the function of it. So I'll pass that. You can use your notes and stuff for this if you want to. There's pictures cut out of all the organelles that we went over already. There's a box at the bottom. The first one's giving you an example of the nucleus. So there's a picture of the nucleus that describes the function of it. So what we're going to do is just match up those organelles with the proper organelle, the proper picture with the proper organelle. Define the organelle, give its function, and then also a box will ask you where the organelle is originating from. So if it's a plant or an animal cell, or if it goes with both.
Are we actually writing on the pages?
Yes, because then I'm going to ask you guys to kind of go around and share it. I think there's 6 or 7 organelles, so quite a few. And I didn't bring glue or anything, so paste it. Do you guys need help?
No, we got it.
Actually, you know what? I forgot to tell you guys. So the drawing you guys can do later. Don't spend any time drawing it. The picture is fine, so just match the picture right here with where it goes. And then the drawing, if you guys want to do later, you can keep these and you can draw them yourself later. But just for right now, just match.
I have pictures, let's go.
That makes sense.
Richard.
Yeah, this is unnecessary.
He knew it, right? We just mentioned it just as symbology up
So yeah, so match all these pictures here. Okay, so the drawing you can just ignore for now. You guys can do that later. But I do want you guys to try to describe the function just briefly like we did. it's found in both plant and animal cell, animal cell, it's found in the plant, just list plant or animal.
Golgi is in this in the plant, right? So, I guess so.
So, if you want, this is just kind of later, I didn't want to take up too much class time today, but since you already have the picture here, sometimes it's a good idea for you guys to kind of draw it out on your own to kind of give you a better depiction of it. But you don't have to do that now, you can just do it later if you want to.
Can't have the car seat back.
Okay, so endoplasmic reticulum. Yeah, perfect, good job. So endoplasmic reticulum, did you guys all get this picture? Everyone? Yes? Good. Where will you find the endoplasmic reticulum? What kind of cell? A plant or an animal cell? Both cells. Perfect. And what's the function? I'm sorry? Yeah, so basically, so the endoplasmic reticulum is going to be responsible for proteins, protein synthesis. The smoothie are up here. The smoothie are is kind of on the outside of it here. That helps with lipids and fats. Yeah, and then the rubia is for ribosome. Okay, good job. Next, Golgi. So for the Golgi, you guys get good. So picture. And then, did you guys all get this for your Golgi?
Yes.
Everybody? Perfect.
It sorts, packages, and distributes proteins around the cell.
Yeah, so it kind of is a shipping and packaging factory. It kind of makes sure that all the proteins kind of get to their right location. And what kind of cell we find this the Golgi in? We find it in a plant, an animal, or both? Both, right. Good job. Okay, which ones are left? So the nucleolus. Perfect. So you guys did good on this one. So everyone found the nucleolus here in the center? Great. Alright, where's the nucleolus found? Plant, animal, or both? Okay, good job. And what's the function of the nucleolus?
Center of the nucleus, ribosome, and helps with the synthesis assembly.
Yeah, good job. Okay. Thanks, you guys. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for your attention. I really appreciate it, and thank you for your time. Thank you to Ms.